Welcome to Lucid English TV. Learn to write crisply, speak confidently, and pass excellently. This video is a continuation of the last video on pronouns and their antecedents. In the last video, we considered a paragraph. Jolie, seeing that Jolie was late again, decided to take off Jolie's shoes and tried tiptoeing to Jolie's room to avoid waking up Jolie's mother or father. However, Jolie was unlucky this time. Jolie's family's cat was just behind the door, perhaps bored and anticipating Jolie's return. Immediately the door opened. The cat meowed. It was loud and so disturbing that Jolie's mom left Jolie's mom's room to see what could be wrong with the cat. Jolie knew Jolie was done for. So in that video, we corrected this paragraph by providing the appropriate form of pronouns to replace the irrelevant repetitions in the paragraph. And we add this to replace it. Jolie, seeing that she was late again, decided to take off her shoes and try tiptoeing to her room to avoid waking up her mother and father. However, she was unlucky this time. Her family's cat was just behind the door, perhaps bored and anticipating her return. Immediately the door opened. The cat meowed. It was loud and so disturbing that Jolie's mom left her room to see what could be wrong with the cat. Jolie knew she was done for. So we could not go further in the last video, so we are going to do that very quickly now. What are the parameters we consider before choosing the appropriate form of pronoun to replace an antecedent? Let's see. Number one, in selecting the appropriate form of a pronoun to replace an antecedent, here are all you need to know. 1. Number of the antecedent. You must consider the number of the antecedent. If the antecedent is singular, the pronoun you want to use to replace it must be singular. Virtually all personal pronouns in English language have their singular forms and plural forms except you and it, of course. And scholars have discovered that even it, the plural of it, can be they. In instance, we are still going to explain that more. So when you want to replace them, you ensure you are replacing a plural noun with a plural pronoun so that there can be smooth sense relation and there won't be confusion when you replace. Let me give you an example. Let's say an example here. Alright. James and John arrived late, so they were punished. You can see that they there is coming in place to replace James and John, which are plural. So that is why we have they there. So if you see example 2, Mom bought me 5 books for $500. She also gave one to my brother. She there. She is replacing Mom, and she there is what is singular, of course. So I want you to fill in your own examples, 3, 4, 5. Pick up a pen and write out your own examples. Ensure you replace the noun with the appropriate form of the pronoun, which must be singular or plural depending on the antecedent. Let's move on to the next one. Alright. Number 2, gender of the antecedent. English language provides options for masculine, feminine, and neuter genders. So either male, female, or non-living things, lifeless entities, you have pronouns options available for them, and you must use them accordingly. For example, for the masculine now you have he, him. For feminine you have she, her, herself. Even for masculine you still have himself too. For neuter you have it, itself. Now one thing we must notice is this. You see, they is flexible enough to go for both masculine plural, feminine plural, and even neuter plural. We are still going to say more about that. So let's see examples. While Mary was growing up, she enjoyed reading Gothic novels. She is used here to replace Mary because Mary is singular one, that's the first parameter, and two, Mary is a female. So that's why you have she there. Now look at this. I now understand some scenes in the play. I did not understand some scenes in the play. They were quite complex. Okay, this day here, what is it replacing? It's replacing some scenes. So you can see that there. They plural, scenes plural. So you can have there. So I want you to provide other examples on your own. Print up, follow the steps. So let's see the next one. Very easy. Case of the antecedent. You must also consider the case of the antecedent when you want to replace it with a pronoun. You know, some antecedent they function in the subject position in the sentence, while some they function in the object position, while some they function as possessive in the genitive case. Very easy. When a pronoun, when an antecedent is in the subject position, that means it is coming before the before the predicator, before the verb. Okay, in the sentence, and you replace it with pronouns that can actually work as subject. I'll give examples. Object pronouns do the same thing. Those ones they come after the verb or after a preposition, and you use them accordingly. While possessive pronouns are those pronouns that are used to show ownership, so they replace nouns that are showing ownership. There's an example in the last paragraph I gave, but let's move on. Very easy. You will see the link to the last video in case you have not seen the last video in the description. Kindly watch the last video. This is the continuation of that video. Let's see the next one. Alright, so subject case pronouns, you have examples. You have he, she, I, we, you, and so on. So John is tall and handsome. You can see John is tall and handsome. He plays basketball and models. Okay, he plays basketball and models. Now this sentence doesn't seem to be parallel, so what do? We must put a comma here, then we'll put e here because it's not parallel. Alright, so he plays basketball and he models. Correct. So let's see what do we have there. What do we have? John is singular one, and it is in the subject case. You can see that John is coming before the verb that we have here. Okay, you can see the verb we have here is. Okay, John is tall and handsome, and here too the pronoun that is replacing John here is also functioning as the subject of the sentence. He plays basketball and he models. You can see. Now look at this very well. You can see the options, the examples given here. You have a he, she, I, we. We can replace John with any of these successfully except I and except you. Okay, so let's see she. Let's say Martha is tall and beautiful. She plays basketball and she models. Very easy. Let's move on to the next one. We have object case pronouns. Object case pronouns are pronouns which are used to replace nouns that succeed verbs. They come after verbs or prepositions. You can see Mom gave us some chocolates. Us here, maybe us is replacing my brother and I, or maybe Rachel and her sister. There you can see Mom gave Rachel and her sister some chocolates. So you can now use us there to replace that. Mom gave us some chocolate. Mom gave them some chocolates. Okay, so you have him, her, us, you. You also have them here. Them as object pronouns. You also have them there as object pronouns. So let's move on to the next one. Next one now we have genitive case pronouns. These are pronouns that replace nouns showing ownership. For example, our house is nearby but theirs is far. our house is nearby, but their house, okay, is far. So instead of saying their house, you can say theirs is far. Very easy. So you have example: mine, yours, is, as, its, and theirs. So it is necessary for me to distinguish genitive case pronouns from genitive case adjectives. There are adjectives too that work as possessive, and that is what we have in that paragraph we gave the other time. When you look at this one now, look at this. Look at it here now. Our shoes here. This "are" here is not a pronoun; it's an adjective because it's qualifying a noun. A pronoun will replace a noun, an adjective will qualify a noun, it will describe a noun. Our shoes, whose shoes? The shoes of Jolie. Okay, so if you are going to use a pronoun here, it will be as. You have put s there. Okay, so that will be pronouns. But here you don't have a pronoun here. The same thing here, you don't have a pronoun here too. You have a genitive, a possessive adjectives. So let's see the next one. Now this is one thing you should note. Alright, one of the reasons for this class, they can also be used for neuter antecedent. When an antecedent is not living thing, so you can also use they for it. Many users try to avoid using they in some cases. Most people have narrowed the pronoun they to only living thing. It is wrong. You can also use they for not living thing. I cannot sleep when the lights in my room are turned on. They make me uncomfortable. You can see that they there is replacing the lights in my room. I cannot sleep when the lights in my room are turned on. They make me uncomfortable. We got some phones yesterday. They were not as expensive as we thought. Okay, the pronoun they or them, as the case may be, is a third person plural personal pronoun that can be used with any of the three English genders: feminine, masculine, or neuter. So we have examples. So I want you to write in the comment section one example each of you using they to replace no living thing. So I want to see that, and if you have any feedback, feel free to drop them, and I will definitely reply to your comment. Thank you very much. Welcome to lucidenglish.com. Remember to like our video, share with your friend, turn on the notifications so you can see new videos, and kindly subscribe. Thank you.